Oh, you guys can actually hear me. Oh, shit. I'm sitting here getting prepared. Didn't even realize. So I guess I'll just say hello. Hopefully everyone's having a good one. I am, instead of doing a stream on Halloween this week, I'm doing it early just because, to be honest with you, I have a shit ton of work to get done over the next few days. I have 2 scripts to write in regards to content stuff, and I have to continue getting the print file for Cyberpop getting set up. So, and trust me, it does take a decent amount of work. The print file is the big one because I got to spend a lot of time in Photoshop making sure that all the margins are right and this, that, and the other. It's kind of a tiresome process. Please raise the volume of my microphone. It's as high as it's going to go. If I raise it higher than this on my board, you're actually going to start to get feedback. So you're just going to have to turn me up on your end. So, like it says in the... And by the way, thank you all for being here. It sounds good? Okay. Well, then I'm just getting one guide. There's always... That always happens. Every stream. There's always one guy. It's like, just turn me up on your end, man. Come on. Anyway, so believe it or not, we've done Halloween streams before, right? I don't think I've ever been in costume for one. I genuinely don't think I did. I actually went out of my way this year to actually buy a costume. Hard to believe, right? I actually put a little effort into it. So, I'm going to give you guys a hint as to what the costume is. It's a musical hint. You're going to hear it in just a few seconds. Get ready to guess. That's all you get. And no, I'm not playing it again. Can anybody guess what it is? You guys got it. It's a low effort costume. But I went ahead and got it. Yep. I am a 40-year-old coop. The one thing that we need now, we need Hatman to dress as Jamie. So yes. This year I am Coop from Megas XLR. Down to like the whole gimmick. Hold on. Let me move my fat ass back. I've got the vest that doesn't fit. I have the V-neck. I am wearing blue jeans. So, I'm Coop if he got older. That is something that if I ever move out to North Carolina, Hatman and I are going to have to do it. We're going to have to do Coop and Jamie for a year. So, yeah. I just figured it'd be fun to do for this year. Because we do love giant robots here. Though, one thing that was kind of funny, I couldn't find a flannel vest for the life of me. Could not find it. And I... Boomstick from Death Battle. How dare you? But I could not find a fucking, a flannel vest. Not just a vest. I couldn't find a short sleeve flannel button up either. Which this is actually a size lower than what I usually wear because Coops, he never buttons it up. And next thing I know, I had to buy a long sleeve one, and I just cheaped out on the V-neck. Like, fuck you. AJ the Groundhog throws in $5, says, Devil Gundam for G Gundam is pretty spooky if you ask me, also digging the Megas XLR threats. Thank you very much for the $5, and I appreciate it. And yes, the Devil Gundam is pretty creepy. I mean, it's a, I plan on doing more videos, because some people really seem to like the idea of, like, well, where's, like, a little bit of horrifying shit in Gundam? There will be a video on the Devil Gundam, because if you think about the more you think about the Devil Gundam, the creepier it gets. It is a self-regenerating machine that makes zombies. What the fuck? It's fucking wild. So yeah. But yeah, early Halloween thing. I figured we'd yap a little bit before we get started. I'm gonna minimize that. So, we do have the horror mecha video coming out on Friday. So it comes out on Halloween. And there are I think my picks are pretty good. But admittedly, like, there's not a whole lot of, like, mixes of mecha and horror. You know, there's not really that many. So to really come up with a list, like, it's not exactly easy, because I'm trying to think of, like, other ones that... There's 5 that I mentioned in the video. I'm not going to say what they all are. But, you can kind of tell from the thumbnail what at least 4 of them are. Outside of those 4, the only ones that I can think of is, like... Valvrave the Liberator, I think, has horror elements in it. I'm told Razafon does. I don't know. I've never watched it. There are Sentai horror hybrids. I don't care about Sentai, though. Like, Kamen Rider and stuff like that's not really for me. Not really my thing. Space Runaway Ideon is terrifying, although it's not necessarily horror. Well, and that's the interesting thing about it is, like, the more you... Ideon is one of those where, like, the more you think about it, the scarier it gets. Because you kind of wonder, like, how the fuck is this all happening? You know? Excuse me. I'm actually, like, fending off a headache to do the stream today. But what I figured we'd do is we'd yap a little bit. Just kind of talk about stuff that's been going on. And you want to know something that I've realized as I've been on the internet and been a content creator? Dude, like, streamer clicks are just high school all over again. They really are. Like I've been looking at just shit going on in the world, and I'm just like, all right, folks. So we're abusing dogs. We're chucking bottles and phones at women here. We're advocating for terrorism. We're doing this and that, and I'm just like, and then there's people who are defending it to stay in good with the clique. And I genuinely think that it justifies my thought that California is the worst place on earth. Like, Los Angeles, if Los Angeles ceased to exist tomorrow, not saying that it should, but let's just say let's say Los Angeles got teleported to another dimension where everybody else is safe and they can do whatever they want. If that were to happen, this dimension would not suffer any negative effects, in my opinion. Holy fuck. Like, the LA streamer clique is just wild to me. I'm like, what the fuck are you people doing? Like, oh, I have this girl that is crying in front of me. Let me try to throw my hand down her pants. The fuck? What are we doing here? Ugh, God, just fucking. Maybe I'm just old. Maybe I'm just an old man, but fuck. To the manga, Devilman vs. Hades counts as a horror mecha series. It's a crossover between Devilman and Mazinger. Maybe. I haven't read it, so I can't really say anything about it. The last Devilman, or the only Devilman crossover, actually, that I've actually watched was, Devilman vs. Cyborg 009, which was kind of a weird one. But yeah, I'm just kind of sitting here like, I'm trying to lean my elbow. My desk is too far away. I'm just kind of sitting here like reading this in my off time, and I'm like, what the hell, people? Like, what is wrong with you? So yeah, that's a thing. And Lady Columbia throws in $5, says, can wait for this season. I know holiday winter is peak content creator season because we're all locked inside. You're one of my faves, Micah. I will do my best to provide. I am hoping to start Neo Zeon, or the Neo Zeon War, which I'm going to tell you is only going to be 3 parts. Sentinel is going to get its own video. The reason that Sentinel is going to get its own video is it's really dry. It's really, really, really dry. Like, I hate to say that, because the mechs in Sentinel are fucking cool looking, but Sentinel as a story, and again, it's translated from Japanese to English, so maybe something got lost in translation, but it's a very dry story at first, so I'm just kind of like trying to get through it, because, you know, I want to, you know, do my job as a content creator, and, you know, do a good explained video on what happens in Gundam Sentinel and the significance of it, because there's elements of it that like go into the Zeta project, and you know, like the different test mobile suits that are out there, like the Fats. I didn't know there were 3 of them, by the way. That was an interesting revelation. They had a squad of them, like a 3-man squad of fucking Fats units. I'm like, what the, really? You built 3 of the damn things? All right. but that is still going to happen. But the thing about Gundam Sentinel is that, at least in regards to like the greater universal century, it's not really that important, and it's not really that exciting, you know. But I'm still gonna do it. It's gonna take some time. So Neo Zeon War will probably happen first. Any plans on covering Gaia Gear in the near future? Ugh, I don't know. That's gonna be another one where I'm gonna have to try to get a hold of it translated, and then I'm gonna have to sit there and just read through it. And the other thing that I've also noticed is that as I've gotten older, my attention span is that much worse than it used to be. I don't have ADHD or anything, but I used to be able to just sit down and read a book, and just sit and read and read and read. I cannot do it anymore. I just can't do it. So, so yeah, I'll have to figure that out. But maybe. Can't say, I'm not gonna say no, but I'm not gonna say yes. Can recommend the manga Red Living on the Edge. Best manga in my opinion. A good idea for a future video. Also, sadly, the manga is online. Never heard of it. One thing that I wanted to mention. Can I just say this? I heard about people complaining about Chainsaw Man Season 1 and the Reze Arc movie taking inspiration from Western films and cinematography. People were actually complaining about that on the internet. How fucking stupid are you to complain about that? Look, I don't care what fucking country you're from. If you're not taking inspiration from things that are objectively good, like, no matter where they're from, you're a fucking idiot. Honestly. Like, it's just something that boggles the fucking mind. Like, what is your expectation? That anime only takes inspiration from anime? That's not a thing that exists. Alright? Like, here's an example. I mentioned this in the horror video that's gonna drop this week. Fucking Evangelion. There's cinematography in the very first episode that is almost shot for shot taking inspiration from The Exorcist. The last couple of episodes of Evangelion and End of Evangelion, the film, take inspiration from the film Altered States. There's also inspiration from Jacob's Ladder in there too. Like, what the fuck are we... What is it that you want it to take inspiration from, exactly? Especially when Fujimoto, the creator of Chainsaw Man, is a fucking cinephile! Oh my god. What the... Dude, weebs are fucking stupid sometimes. I swear to Christ. Like, so what should it take inspiration from? Dragon Ball Z? Look, I liked DBZ as a kid, but the cinematography in it wasn't really that great. You know? If I want to set up a horror scene, in which case, like, and it's two people talking to one another, what should I take inspiration from? The Silence of the Lambs? Or the new fucking isekai anime, for I lived as a schlub, and then I died, so now I'm a fucking farmer? Is that what you want me to do if I'm fucking Fujimoto or whoever the fuck? Really? Like, what the fuck do you want from people? It's so fucking stupid. What people don't seem to understand is that people in Japan watch Western media. A lot of it. The MCU was fucking huge in Japan as well as here in the United States. What is his name? The guy who did Perfect Blue. I'm forgetting his name. Satoshi Kon took a ton of inspiration from Western filmmaking. Like, how many fantasy stories like that have come out from Japan? A lot of them are inspired by Lord of the Rings, a Western property. What the fuck do you think is gonna happen? Like, the arts are not insular. They're not. There are things that artists are doing, pen and paper artists, that are ideas that have their roots in the fucking Renaissance. Fucking Italy. So you have Americans and Japanese taking inspiration from fucking pasta merchants, okay? That's how the arts work. If it's good, it's good. It doesn't fucking matter where it's from. The fuck is this shit? Like, it just... Yeah, Berserk was inspired by the 1985 Rutger Hauer movie Flesh and Blood. You know, it takes inspiration from that, and then it also takes inspiration from Fist of the North Star. In fact, Kentaro Miura actually worked with Beronson, the writer of Fist of the North Star, on a manga called King of Wolves. I want to say that they worked on that together when Tetsuo Ohara was working on Fist of the Blue Sky. I could be wrong. Like, it's... And then Berserk was inspired by Conan the Barbarian as well. Yeah, there's some Conan the Barbarian influence in there as well. Where, of course, you know, Guts is a mercenary. He does get attain knighthood at one point. He has it for like 5 minutes and he's like, fuck this shit, I'm out. You know? Disregarding Dracula, Helsing was inspired by Der Friedrichschütz, Rip Van Winkle, James Bond, Dune, and even a Bruce Willis film. Yeah. There's a ton of references to Western media in it. Also, why is the chat on my overlay not working? There we go. Something weird happened with that. Yeah, Trigun and My Hero Academia were inspired by Spider-Man. Tetsuo, what's his name? Naitao. Yasuhiro Naitao. Big Spider-Man fan. He loves Todd McFarlane's art. Absolutely loves it. I mean, one of the enemies is called Monev the Gale, and his mask looks similar to Venom's. Like, it's something that really just... It legitimately bothers me. Because you're trying to limit people's creativity, and you're trying to limit the things that they can take inspiration from. You know, like, and even on top of that, the opening of Chainsaw Man Season 1 is all references, or at least for the most part, to Western film. There's references to The Big Lebowski. There's references to Constantine. To, fucking... No Country for Old Men, and a bunch of other stuff. Like, and then there's also a reference to End of Evangelion in it. So it really, it gets my goat, because I love Chainsaw Man. I absolutely love it. But it seems like everybody else wants it to just be like generic anime number 355, like whatever shonen they're watching at the time, and they don't want it to be its own thing. And that to me is just fucking ridiculous. Ugh. I just find myself very annoyed by it. Very, very annoyed. It's like they expect anime to be suitable for their standards and not expect their comedy to be like Mallrats. Well, the thing, at least for me, is I'm big on artistic expression. I'm big on um being able to take and source inspiration from wherever you want. You know, um the when I did Inglewood, when I was working on that book, one of my major inspirations was Daredevil, obviously. Another one was Fist of the North Star. It's a similar idea. Wander the wasteland, go beat up gangs. You know, Black Clover's authors talk about being inspired by Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. Yeah, it's like it's really really weird to me. It's like people seem to think that Japan is like this insular place. And here's the big one: Mobile Suit Gundam, inspired by Star Wars. Also inspired by Star Blazers, but very much inspired by Star Wars. I mean, Tomino fucking loves Star Wars. I mean, basically, that's what Heavy Metal Elgime is. If Tomino did Star Wars, it would be Heavy Metal Elgime. Some of these guys are probably also the type that focus on power scaling. Yeah, there was somebody I saw on X said something to the tune of, people who watch seinen are in it for a good story. People who watch shonen are in it for CBR, fucking power scaling debates. Like, that's why whenever people ask me about power scaling stuff, the one thing that I try to influence is, like, we're talking about two completely different universes here, so the way that they work isn't even the same, so the comparison is kind of lopsided. Okay, 2 memberships. Servant says 14 months. What did I miss? Running errands. I am Coop, and we're talking about just stupid fucking shonen idiots. Dusort renews his membership as well, says yeehaw, thank you very much. He's been in it for 8 months. So, but anyway, the, like, I would much rather have, something inspired by good stuff from everywhere, as opposed to something that's inspired by some good stuff and some mediocre shit from one place. Because let's be honest, like, right now, when it comes to creativity as a story, Chainsaw Man is a gold nugget that has been separated from a steaming pile of shit. Because a lot of Japanese media, and like most anime these days, sucks. It's fucking terrible. It is the weakest it's ever been. So. But yeah, it's one of those things where, like, I personally can't even read shonen. Because it's just doing Dragon Ball but different. You know? Or it's doing Yu Yu Hakusho but different. It's basically it. Like, it'll have some interesting stuff, and then it starts turning into, oh, well, we have reached the point where you cannot go further. Time for a training arc. It's why I fucking, and then time for 40,000 gazillion fucking flashbacks. Angry Green Boss renews his for 8 months. Says insert random weed going re. Yeah, Devilman and Demon Lord Dante are inspired by Dante's Divine Comedy. It's another good example. But that's the repetition. It's like when I tell people, like, Bleach was good until the end of the Soul Society arc, and then it sucked because it's the same bullshit over and over again. It's training arc, do a few fights, which admittedly the fights are pretty good, then run into a new guy that's tough, then 4 episodes of flashbacks? But I don't give a fuck. I want to kill him and save the princess. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? And it's like, I'm out, homie. Like, I don't fucking care about this dude's backstory. He's an asshole. It's like having it. If Spider-Man were Bleach, we would have 4 episodes devoted to the backstory of the Shocker. And it would be a total waste of fucking time. Like, that's what it would be. Like, if the guy who directed Bleach did Spider-Man or did Fantastic Four, there would be a battle where the Thing is tracking down Paste Pot Pete, and we got 4 episodes of flashback about Paste Pot Pete. Meanwhile, the audience is sitting there going, like, what the fuck? What are we doing here? I would much rather just go forward. Move forward with the fucking plot. I don't care about all this extra shit. Stick with what's good and what we care about. That's another reason I love Chainsaw Man. Did I give a flying fuck about the history of the Devil Angel? Fuck no. Or the Angel Devil? I don't give a fuck. I just need to know what they do. Okay, so that's what they do? Alright, moving on. Same thing with, like, the fucking Shark Devil guy. Like, I didn't need his fucking backstory. I just need to know what he's gonna do. Violence Devil. Oh, he likes violence. Thank you for that explanation. Moving on to the characters that I give a shit about. And Makima and her fat ass. Alright? Like, it sets itself apart in such a wonderful way. Like, why the actual fuck would I want to regress or shift my focus away from shit I don't care about? You know? How many shonen series can you think that have a satisfying conclusion? How many have I watched to the conclusion of? Fuck. What was the conclusion of Dragon Ball? The conclusion of Dragon Ball Z is Oob, right? Or am I remembering that wrong? I want to say it was, yeah, it's Goku goes to a tournament and Majin Buu has been, Evil Buu has been reincarnated into this guy called Oob. And Goku just leaves again. Because fuck being a parent. Like, yeah, I remember watching that and being like, what the fuck did I just see? Like, who the fuck? Why do I care about this guy? He's not, like, eating babies. Like, why do we need to go on another training arc? With this fucking random Indian kid? What are we doing? Are you worried? Are you worried, Goku, that the rest of his life is just gonna be spent teaching jujitsu classes and making tikka masala? Like, what are we doing here? What the fuck? Just what the hell? Like, what? So yeah, like that was very dissatisfying. Oh, Yu Yu Hakusho's isn't really that satisfying either. It's just sort of like, it just kind of ends, and it's like, oh, well, that was a thing. And the funny thing about it is I feel like some of these shows, like, they have a logical closure point and they just go past them because they need more money. Right? Because it's Shonen Jump and, you know, they hold the checkbook. Because, like, with Yu Yu Hakusho, the ending should have been the, what was the spirit detective's name who went fucking crazy? It starts with an H. Somebody help me out here. That arc. Because that arc was pretty good. Like, Yu Yu Hakusho, up until the end of that arc, is like one of the few, like, shonen that I would say, like, doesn't really have much going against it. What is the name? God, fuck. Was it Shishiro? It might have been Shishiro. Sensui! Thank you. The Sensui arc. Sensui arc was great. You know, Sensui arc was great. The Dark Tournament is the best tournament arc in all of anime. Outside of Battle Angel Alita Last Order. Which you're probably asking, Micah, why does a cyberpunk anime have a tournament arc? Just read it. Just read it. It's fucking it's amazing. Battle Angel Alita is the shit. That's all you need to know. It's called the Chapter Black arc. Okay, fair enough. I didn't know that. I always just called it the Sensui arc. But yeah, up until the end of that arc, like, Yu Yu Hakusho doesn't have any negatives for it. Not really. It's actually really good. And to its credit, like, Dragon Ball Z doesn't have, like, a bad arc. Boo tends to drag a bit at points. But the rest of it's, you know, pretty fun to watch. Though there are tropes about it that are fun to make fun of. You know, Goku being a terrible father, which isn't a malicious thing. He's just fucking stupid. Thoughts on Full Metal Alchemist? Well, y'all know I love Vic. I like Brotherhood. Brotherhood was really good. Brotherhood was excellent. Yeah, Full Metal Alchemist was fun. It was a good time. Mangaka of Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter is best friends with the mangaka of Bastard. Interesting. It's kind of interesting to me, like, how kind of not incestuous, but how so many people in the manga scene know each other. Like, did you guys know that Kentaro Miura actually had a sketch drawn that Tetsuo Hara did for him of basically it's Tetsuo Hara, so it's basically Kenshiro and Guts' armor, but he did that for him. It's just to do it. Like that to me is fucking amazing. It's just sort of like a real recognizes real, because he grew up reading Tetsuo Hara. He got to work with Baranson, and Tetsuo Hara becomes a fan of his art. Like, oh God, I miss you, Miura. What a life, though. Right? What a life. 50 years. 50 years of life. Or 55, I think it was. 55 years of life gets to create one of the most iconic stories in all of fantasy media. And just at some point, he's gone. It's crazy. But he died doing what he loved. People compare him to Godo in the actual Berserk, and sometimes I wonder if that was the intention from him. You know? Is the ending to Fullmetal Alchemist good? Yeah, it's got a really happy ending. I really liked it. But look, Miura's team, Studio Gaga's doing a really good job. They really are. I can't think of, like, everything Berserk that I've read since Miura's passing has been good. So I just wish we got more of it more often. That's basically it. But they're taking their time because they want to make sure that it's done right. Loved Guyver, but it's on hiatus since 2016, unlikely to ever have a conclusion. Yeah, that's a bummer. I like Guyver. I like Guyver too. Guyver's pretty dope. I mean, Guyver basically is like, you know what? Let's take Kamen Rider and put it on fucking bath salts and just see what happens. And it's great. It's so good. Probably one of the best biopunk stories to ever exist. It's really, really good. Gosh. I'm powering through this headache as best as I can. I planned on doing a little vidya just to try it out. Because if I don't like it, I can just get a refund. But I wanted to just chat for a bit. We just have a nice little chat in my costume here. Which also is not the most comfortable. Like the neck, because it's a size small. Like the neck area is like pulling down here. It's kind of annoying. Takahiro Inoue's Vagabond was amazing. It's also unlikely to ever have a conclusion. Yeah. It's something that's unfortunate. Trinity Blood is another good example, because the writer died. You know, so that's never going to reach a conclusion either. Though I'm of the opinion, like, and this is just me, I'm of the opinion that if you start having significant success with a piece of art, and like at that point you do need to start thinking about your legacy and what you want to leave behind. And I'm of the opinion you should give notes to somebody that you know is also a creative that you're working with to finish what you started. So that way you're not, you know, leaving it behind and leaving it empty, you know. So not that that's gonna probably happen with me, you know. I am just at this point, I'm focused on being an editor and content creation. It's not what I expected, but it's what's working. And if that's what's working, then we're going to make it happen. You know? So yeah. Speaking of which, um, I have to say, I'm really excited to see how Cyberpop is going to turn out, because right now where I'm at with it, in regards to the print file, is there's about 16 pages of bonus content that I need to fill. And one thing that I'm going to be doing is like putting together a sequence where it effectively shows like how we made the book, right? So I just need some resources from Manito, and then once I've got that, that's going to be done and out there. And that to me is going to be my big focus, for Grindstone going forward, and for just that is, I'm just going to help Lolly do what he can do. I'm going to make sure that his stuff is the best it can be. Because we obviously both profit off of it. And, the ultimate goal is to, obviously we'll get Inglewood Book 2 fulfilled. My new fulfillment guy is here in Illinois, so I will probably pay him to just drive here to Bloomington, and I'm just going to give him all the stuff and be like, hey, go ahead and I'll send you the lists and stuff like that. Yeah, that's going to be it for me in regards to my own writings for a while. I think if whatever my last attempt, I think is going to be the mecha that I was working on. That'll be the last thing I probably ever write, because I'm just very exhausted with the process. So Ballstar's in $4.99 says, kind of feel the indie animation also has a problem that slice of life Twitter fueled bullshit all the time. Yeah, I can agree with that. But yeah, it's the toughest part for me is just that, like, I'm effectively just kind of telling myself, like, I need to put an end to just what I was planning on doing. The one thing that I'm happy about is that when Three Nights gets finished, because that obviously is going to get done too, like, everything that's got an open crowdfund is getting done. Like, period, point blank. It's getting finished. I rewrote the ending to that to be less open-ended. And just like what really bothers me is I really wanted to do Project Lazarus, but it just nobody cares about it now. The time to do it was 3 years ago, and that time has passed. I've got to accept that time has moved on and moved past me. It is what it is. So, when do you think I'll try comics again? Whenever I can find the right people. Like, well, the first thing is getting out all the stuff that was already crowdfunded. Inglewood needs to get out there. I need to get some shipping materials and things along those lines. And then after that's done, I'm going to go ahead and get my novella fulfilled. And once all that's fulfilled, once all that's done, which is going to take probably another year or so to get it finished, then I will probably sit down and finish the script for the Argonauts, and then I'll try to find a mecha artist to do it, and I will I'll get that taken care of. And we'll throw the first book of it out. It'll be like 60 some odd pages, and we'll see if people resonate with it. If they don't resonate with it, then they don't, and I just leave it behind. I can just be a publisher for the rest of my life in regards to the arts. And if nothing else, like, I'll be able to just say, like, look, I gave it an honest shot. But it's just one of those things where, like, the time for the iron to be struck was a long time ago. It's the metal has cooled off, and I just didn't get the work done in time. So, like, because the fact of the matter is like, people have moved on, I think, from superheroes, which is what I was really interested in writing. And nobody wants superheroes anymore. Like, people have, like, cape burnout is real. Like, I don't know if you guys have looked at fucking, like, the Ultimate Universe or the Absolute Universe. It's not even superheroes anymore. You know? Everybody's the goddamn Punisher. Like, the absolute comics are, it's Bat Punisher, Super Punisher, and Wonder Woman is now a fucking wizard. Okay. Um there is and people just, they got sick of it and they don't want people. It feels like a lot of people just kind of want, you know, like gore porn and shit like that. And it's like, fuck, dude. And it's just like, I just kind of woke up one day and realized that everything left me behind on that. And I just had to look myself dead in the eye and say, all right, when it comes to like the sleeveless universe as I was putting it together, it failed. It did. It failed. You know, the last entry into that universe was the novella I just wrote, Everything Went Black. And it flopped. The reaction was basically, oh, Micah wrote a novel. That's nice. Moving on. You know, and I had to eat that. I just had to take that hit to my ego and be like, all right, we can't refuse to learn the lesson. You just got to move on. Move on to whatever we think will probably work. I think that if I do a mecha war story, I feel like if I do that, it has the best chance of success. You know, so I'm like, all right, fuck it, let's do it. It's time. It's, you know, this is the time to do it. The people who watch my YouTube channel love mecha. They love Gundams specifically. It's a love letter to Gundam. You know, like this. This has a good chance of working. And if it doesn't, you know, it's just one of those things where I can at least sleep well at night knowing that I tried. You know, there is no new IP that's working out. Not in the West, that's for sure. The fact of the matter is, like, I think that, and this is something that I kick myself for being part of, I feel like independent comic books, by and large, because so many people, again, myself included, have taken so long to get books out for one reason or another. For some people, the circumstances were outside of their control. For others, not so much. And you know, it just didn't work. And there is we're just at a point in time where people have kind of moved on from what was going on at the time, and people just don't trust the independents at all. Drama that surrounded the indie comics also didn't help. That's true too. And that was also like the biggest problem in my opinion, is like, I feel like the pandemic is what really hurt it the most, because there were a lot of creators that just, they had nothing to do and they were sitting at home stir crazy, and they just started snipping at each other. And people are like, well, this is bringing in drama, which brings in super chats, and fuck it, let's make some money. And by the way, I'm not trying to poo-poo it. It's just the long-term effect is that now everybody hates each other. In the short term, it made sense because nobody knew when their next paycheck was coming in. Because nobody was working. It's just one of those things, man, where like long term, it can really bite you in the ass if you're not careful. But it be what it be. But yeah, a lot of people are looking for things that they know are stable nowadays. Like that's the big thing. People want stability. I think that's part of the reason that Eric July has had the success that he's had is because he invested millions of dollars up front into his business. The first book was a big success, and he had the money to back creating a new label. And in doing so, he managed to have success because he could have the consistency that people are looking for right now. A lot of other people can't do that. A lot of people can't. And it's it's just, it is what it is. There's a magazine you can give a prototype to. Battletech is an open community magazine that if you submit a good story, it can get published. Problem is I don't know anything about Battletech. But that is interesting. Another thing that I do plan on doing just to see if it happens is I am going to, because the Black Library for Games Workshop, they do like an open casting call like every year at the start of the year for writers, and I'm gonna give it a shot. I know quite a bit about Warhammer. I've been reading a lot of the books, so I have an idea of like what exactly, while listening to the audiobooks, but I like what they're going for, like the vibe of what the books are supposed to feel like, and I'm gonna give that a shot and see if I can make it in there. Because if there's one chapter that I feel is like one of the most underrepresented in regards to what's going on with it, it's the same guys that are on my fucking wallpaper. Raven Guard. Like, they have a series of audio dramas, and then they've got some Horus Heresy books, and that's kind of about it. Gonna be on your ass about that if you're serious about writing for Black Library. No missing the date again. Doomhammer, if you see the notification for when it starts before I do, get in touch with me and tell me to get working. I will make that happen. But I will tell you right now, yeah, if I ever get selected for the Black Library, what I will absolutely be doing is pitching Raven Guard stories. The fuck? Apparently somebody's throwing a fucking temper tantrum outside. But that would be what I would like to do. Oh, that's Brain? Brain, why are you on a different account? Or it's just you're coming up as Doomhammer instead of Brainbox. But yes, keep me on it, dude. But yeah, that is something I would like to do. Thoughts on the Mantis Space Marine chapter? Oh, you mean the Mantis Warriors? I feel bad for them. I feel genuinely bad for them. The Mantis Warriors come from Jagatai Khan's gene stock. Let me pull up an image so you guys can get an idea of what they look like. They come from Jagatai Khan's gene stock. So they have the gotta go fast Mongolian genes, right? But surprisingly, these guys, they have a really cool paint scheme. These guys decided that instead of gotta go fast, they decided that they were going to be a stealth and recon chapter, stealth and recon specialists. Which, I mean, it is what it is. It's different, you know. But they've got a cool scheme. They're a very skilled chapter, pretty badass dudes. And then they meet a gentleman named Luft Huron. And Luft Huron is the head of what is called the Bad Ab sector, which is close to a small sort of like warp storm thing that they're consistently having to defeat demonic incursions. So they need backup. They need more resources, and they're getting bled dry by the tithes. And they've pulled in help from different chapters to the sector. You have the Executioners, which are a Imperial Fist successor. You have the Mantis Warriors, who are White Scar successors, and then you have the our good friends, the Lamenters. If you're not picking up on what I'm putting down so far, this is the beginnings of the Bad Ab War. You can't change your YouTube. Oh, that's fucking weird. All right, well, Brain, I'll do my best to remember that. Because the funny thing is, like, your avatar is still a B. So, but why are you not modded? That's the real question. Hold on a second. There you go. Brain is now modded. Again. As if I haven't modded him several times before. But anyway. So basically they tell the Imperium, look, until we get backup. This is a test to see if it uses my preferred name. Still has you listed as Doomhammer 40k. But thank you for the $5, Brain. So the Imperium says, go fuck yourselves. We're sending people to bring down what Luft Huron is doing, because how dare you not pay your taxes and ask for help? So, but even so, you've got really good chapters there. You've got the Lamenters, who, despite being very, very sad boys, are incredibly capable warriors. I mean, they're sons of Sanguinius. You have the Mantis Warriors, very capable guys. You have the Executioners, an entire chapter full of badasses. And then, of course, you have the Astral Claws, who are suspected to be Ultramarine successors, but it's never been confirmed. Um, I don't think we'll ever get confirmation of it until um, Huron and Gilliman interact with one another. But anyway, several chapters are sent out to stop this uprising. The assault is led by the Red Scorpions, who are. What if the Ultramarines had their own Black Templars, even though they're not really confirmed to be an Ultramarine successor? Is every company run by monkeys? Sometimes I wonder. But it's led by the Red Scorpions, and then the Raptors, who are Raven Guard successors, are sent out. One company of Salamanders is sent out. They're the ones who actually bring down the Executioners. It was the second company of Salamanders, led by the veteran of Armageddon, Pelismir San. And then who else was there? Oh, and then there was the Minotaurs. The Minotaurs got sent after the Lamenters to keep them busy. Which, to the Lamenters' credit, they lost a lot of dudes. Because they were at full chapter strength, and they got knocked down to like 250. The Minotaurs got knocked down to 350. And Malachim Foros apparently survived a one-on-one duel with the chapter master of the Minotaurs. That's really impressive. Now, where it gets sad for the Mantis Warriors, to bring it back to them, is they ran into the Carcharodons. A chapter that is better than they are at everything. Space Sharks, are they Raven Guard, Night Lords, or both? They are Raven Guard. They even look like people with Raven Guard gene seed. But yeah, the Mantis Warriors ran straight into Tyberos and all of his boys. And going into this conflict, the red tides for the Carcharodons had not been yielding what they were hoping. They only came into this at about half strength, at about 500 dudes. And they decimated them. Because what would happen was, because keep in mind again, the Shark Boys are Raven Guard. Are Raven Guard successors. It's unconfirmed, but they are. Let me find. There is official art of a Carcharodon fighting a Tau warrior, where you can get a good look at him. I'm trying to find it. Where the fuck is it? There it is. Okay. And then let me find a good one of a Raven Guard without their helmet. Just a second. I mean, I did a whole video on this, but I'm going to go over it again anyway. not much of them. Here's a good one. This is kind of like what your typical Raven Guard guy looks like. He's got very pale skin. He's got black eyes. And it's very quiet. Carcharodons. Oh, and dark hair. Carcharodons, pale skin, black eyes, dark hair. Has a thing for silence. The difference between the two. The Carcharodons... Oh yeah, now Brain is back to his normal self. The Carcharodons are a little different. They are both stealth-based chapters. The difference between the two is that the Raven Guard are really, really good at sniping. Very long-range combat. Carcharodons prefer close range. They also don't like jetpacks as much as the Raven Guard do. They like sneak attacks. So basically what would happen is whenever the Mantis Warriors were out doing Mantis Warrior things, setting up sniping positions and ambushes, they would be set up, and then suddenly they would hear a chainsword turn on. They would turn around, and there's a Carcharodon right there. Standing like fucking Michael Myers. And they'd be like, how the fuck did he get here? How did we not hear him? Yeah, the Shark Boys are Jason Voorhees. That's how they're described in the books, basically. Like, you just turn a corner and they're there. You don't know how they got there. You don't know when they got there. Have they been there this whole time? So on and so forth. Like, it's genuinely frightening. Tyberos is able to sneak around in Terminator armor. I want to just kind of emphasize that for a second. Tyberos, the Red Wake, who was close to 9 feet tall, now is probably over 9 feet tall. This fucking behemoth can enter a room in that armor, and you're not going to know he got there. Keep in mind, the best chapter in the whole setting, when it comes to Terminators, Brain can correct me if I'm wrong, is the Dark Angels. I think it's fair to say the Dark Angels, the Deathwing, right, is the best Terminator squads in the setting. Second and third would be like the Salamanders and the Nova Marines. They haven't figured out how to do that. Tyberos did. It's very accurate on how sharks hunt as well. They appear, swim away, suddenly they're behind you. Yeah, they're very quiet. And so basically what would happen is that they just appear out of nowhere. And the craziest thing about it is that we actually see in the most recent Carcharodons book all of their tactics, the way they sneak around, are the exact same as the way the Raven Guard do it. Like, a squad of Carcharodons in the most recent book managed to get most of the way through a space Hulk without being caught. That's really hard to do. So, yeah. Isn't Tyberos's armor part Dreadnought? No. It is custom Terminator armor. Let me find another bit of art of my boy here. Because there's not a lot of official art of Tyberos. I would say this is probably the most accurate of him. If you look really closely at the plating on the armor, and then you look at the Terminators behind him, he's wearing custom Indomitus pattern Terminator armor. It custom because of how big he is. And he also doesn't wear a Terminator helmet. He wears a normal Space Marine helmet instead, so he can see more of what's around him. Or at least I'm assuming that's it. But the confusion comes from naming conventions inside of Warhammer and then in the fandom. Terminator armor, the actual name for it is Tactical Dreadnought armor. However, the squad name for the squads that use Tactical Dreadnought armor are called Terminators. So to make it short, people for years have just called it Terminator armor. So no, it's not Dreadnought armor. It's basically they took Terminator armor and they customized it to fit a much bigger Marine. Which, considering Tyberos has now crossed the Rubicon Primaris, he's even bigger now. That's terrifying. Because they took the biggest Space Marine, normal Space Marine, that exists right now. And keep in mind, that's saying something, because he's bigger than a son of Vulcan. The Salamanders, the Storm Giants, the Black Dragons are all huge. He's bigger. So they took the biggest Space Marine in existence right now, and now they made him bigger. I don't know if he's as big as Gilliman. I don't think he would be. But Gilliman would not have to look too far down to see eye to eye with him. And what the Rubicon Primaris does is it makes you bigger, but also stronger, and also faster. So, I'm going to be honest. He, to me, is the most frightening of all chapter masters in regards to concept. He is well over 8 feet tall, probably close to 9, because Primarchs are at their smallest like 10. He's stealthy in Terminator armor, can run in it, apparently, because he runs in the second Carcharodon's book, if I remember right. But there's just the fact that he can stealth around in this thing. Like, he walked into a landing pod full of Tyranids. And when he left it, the way that Tekaharangi, their chief librarian, described it is it was just a puddle of pieces. Like, that to me is insane. He is so good at what he does. He's one of the most fearsome chapter masters in the setting. I wouldn't count him among the best overall, but he's pretty up there. Because the only guys that are going to be close to him in size would probably be... I have a feeling that Tushan is not far behind him. I mean, not Tushan. Dusort throws in a couple bucks, says, have you heard about the Pontius? I'll get to that. Why am I forgetting his name? Yeah, it is Tushan, because Vulcan Histan is the Forge Father. Tushan is probably close to his size. Probably not too far behind. Because Tushan is really big, too. And he's a salamander. You know, salamanders are fucking huge. And then the chapter masters of the Storm Giants and the Black Dragons are also going to be pretty fucking big, too. Which Primarch gave Magnus a good ass whooping? Limus? I think you mean Lehman. Lehman or Vulcan. Both of them did. Vulcan's is a little bit more impressive because he beat Demon Magnus. Like, you know the big winged Magnus that you see on the tabletop? Vulcan beat that. So that to me is very impressive. Now, about the Pontius. I am not somebody who really likes to be mean on the internet to other content creators because I understand how hard the hustle is. The Pontius's video on lore tubers was probably the least helpful to making the scene improve that it could ever have been. I watched a good chunk of it, and like, to get the one insult out of the way, I'm like, man, this guy's really autistic. but that's a joke. But he might be. It wouldn't surprise me if he was. There's a lot of people that are that are Warhammer fans that are on the spectrum, to say the least. The one good point that he brought up, and this is one that I wholeheartedly agree with him on, is that there are way too many content creators that discuss Warhammer they're just way too meme heavy. And they're not heavy enough on the facts of what people are really there for. The problem that I had with it is, like, with a lot of things that he did, he started to get personal with people he doesn't even know. Like like a lot of the stuff he said about, like, Major Kill was just flat out wrong. You know? And I was like, the fuck? And it's like, why are we making these digs? Like, this has nothing to do with Warhammer. You know, like, if you have an issue with the content, discuss the fucking content, dude. Because I've been critical of other lore tubers, too. I was critical of Bricky and DK Diamante. You know, their podcast, Adeptus Ridiculous, for a couple things that they said. I criticized I mean, on Twitter, I had a tweet that exploded about the Sisters of Battle, because Bricky had said, in the midst of one of his, he actually had a really good rant on an episode about the Sisters of Battle. I don't remember the specific episode, where he was talking about, he said that he didn't like the idea of female custodies because it felt like it was pulling attention away from the Sisters of Silence and the Sisters of Battle, both of whom are really cool, which I agree 100% with that. That's my thought. You know, that's the reason why I don't mind, because I don't care about the custodies that much, but like the whole femme custodes thing was, you know, brought in with the surgical precision of a jackhammer. You know, it was just kind of just like, burn. It's like you could have done it in a much more interesting way, and given us some actual interesting characters, because all that's been done is there was the one episode of the Tithes, and people who wanted to even give female custodies a chance hated that episode, because it's the weakest of the three. Like, everybody talks about the Guard episode and the Sakan episode, because it really did a really great job of showing like the relationship between the Ultramarines and the Salamanders, which are two chapters that have an incredible amount of respect for one another. Because Vulcan and Gilliman were very close. But regardless, back onto what Pontius was talking about, like, or like in regards to like getting things wrong, like Bricky said that the Sisters of Battle are all ugly, or they're supposed to be all ugly. And it's like, and he was complaining about like waifuized art, and then he did his own waifuized art for his like shaker cup with gamer subs, which case I saw that and I'm like, I see what you're doing, Bricky, and I'm not against it, but come on, let's be a little bit more honest. Bricky's a showman, not a lore master. Someone else is writing stuff, he says. Well, he has a pretty decent knowledge of it, and he does at least try to do his research, and he reads the books and everything. In fact, their book club episodes have been pretty good. And I have nothing against Adeptus Ridiculous. The other one that I criticized them for was trying to force a Trump allegory onto the Snow Queen of Kislev. I thought that was really weird, because it's like there's no comparison. Like, I understand that you think that, you know, 40K is satirical and it's satirizing like elements of the modern day, but he's kind of changed his mind in later episodes on that, I've noticed, because he said something about like yeah, they've like one of the creators of Warhammer flat out said that Gaz is not a reference to Margaret Thatcher, and he's like, that kind of bums me out, but I get it, you know. And I'm like, see, but there's obviously there is some satire in it. Like, there's I feel like whoever created the concepts and the ideas behind the Adeptus Ministorum clearly had a bad day at the DMV. But it's, and by the way, it's fun in a way, because it makes like doing that and having that be sort of a bit of a meta commentary on how fucking slow government can be. It actually lends to the universe. If it's done smartly, it's a good idea. But, you know, it's like thinking that everything is satire when it's not it's just not true. It's a very Reddit opinion, right? But my problem with Pontius was just, it's like, he really started to dig into personal shit, and it's like, buddy, I understand you're buddies with Arch, but this is the internet. Unless you've met the guy in real life and hung out and like done friend stuff with him, they're not really your friend, you know? Unless like he's gone out of his way to do do things for you, like pay your bills or something, maybe. Like, it's like internet friend, it's not quite the same. Like, there's people on the internet I am friendly with, and there are still a couple people that I would consider friends that I've gotten to know over the years, you know, but it's not quite the same. And like, I will flat out say right now, none of the people that I have met online are at this point are fellow content creators that I'm like friends with, you know, like Lolly and I we're what I call buddies. Like we've known each other for a while. We're both content creators, but we're in business together. You know, it's a little different. You know, we're mutually moving towards something together. So it's not the same kind of a relationship as I have with like two of my closer friends. Like it's just not the same thing. So taking maybe like the issues that they might have with Arch or something, or Arch might have with them, and then making personal attacks because you like Arch is fucking stupid. Like, I'm just gonna be blunt about it. It's dumb. It's not your war. It's not your fight. It's fucking... You're picking fights over nothing. And the big problem is this. Whenever you criticize another content creator and their content, and it's not about like improving their content, it's about trying to bring them down and build yourself up as the superior one, it's not really going to vibe with people. It's not really going to grow you an audience like you think he did. He did get one big video out of it. But will that continue? We'll have to see. But I think that, like, I think more the best way to do things is to find whatever the weakness is in what other people that are in this space that you're doing is, and then just improve upon it. Because I agree. 40K is too meme heavy. And a lot of information that could get people hooked into the hobby, which is ultimately like what the goal is. Like the reason I do Gundam content is I think old Gundam stuff is fucking cool. I want more people to interact with it. When it comes right down to it, it's I looked at Gundam Lore Tube when I started on it, and I'm like, what is something that is kind of missing from this? Because there's one guy at the top, it's Kakarot, and I have nothing against the guy. But what is a deficiency that he has? It's humor. Kakarot's not known for bringing the guffaws, right? He's pretty on the nose with his facts, but he does really good research. So I said, all right, how do I set myself apart from him? I'm also really good at research, but I can bring the funny. So that's why a lot of my videos have so much humor in them that I make sure doesn't detract from the truth of it. Like, and on top of that, I'm working with an editor that has the same mentality, you know, with Shirt Dude. Like, the butter stuff in the Gundam Wing videos, that was all him. I can't take any credit for that. But we just knew, it's like, when he did that, I'm like, that's perfect, because it's going to make people laugh, and it's going to make the situation be, or the video be that much more fun to watch, you know? Oh, and clips of the Boondocks, you know? I feel like there's a balance that you need to have of shit posting and what's actually there, but what's actually there needs to be accurate. You know, you need to make sure that you're not misleading people on things that are going on. Like, one thing that I showed frustration in when I did my Carcharodons video was that so many people say, oh, they're like the Night Lords. No, they're not. Like, first off, the Night Lords have no successors. At least that we know of. How do I put this? Everything that is in the first Carcharodons book points to Corvus Corax being their gene father. Like, the way he's described. And, they just don't have anything in common with them. Not really. Because the big thing about the Night Lords is that they're very dramatic. They are, You remember like the whole thing where Tony Stark is describing Loki on in the first Avengers movie, like he's a diva on Broadway. It's debut week, and he wants everybody to know what's going on. That's the Night Lords. You can't see them, but they want you to know that they're there. That's their whole thing. The Sharks don't. They want to kill you. That's the job. They're there to kill you. And they're going to do it. Not to mention, the Sharks are also shockingly polite. Like, sometimes to their own detriment. In the most recent book, the Mechanicus that they went to go help were almost just walking on them. And they were just kind of like, what the fuck do we do here? Thank God for Cowrie to come in, one of their librarians, who comes in, gives the sign of the Omnissiah, which I think is this. Because this is the sign of the Aquila. This is the sign of the Imperialis. So he goes in and has to, talk them into a better situation. Here's some heresy for Micah. The traitor Primarchs did nothing wrong. The greater good is better than the Emperor, and the Eldari were right to create Slaanesh. I thought about doing videos that were lighthearted responses to Pancreas No Work, because Pancreas is also an Illinois guy. He's from the burbs like I am, so I don't live in the burbs right now. But I thought about doing that to him, like talking about like doing one in his style about the Space Wolves that's positive, but also do one about how everything is the Eldar's fault. Because they created Slaanesh, because they were too big. Brainbox said it to me once when we were playing Space Marine. He's like, the Eldar are fucking stupid. They hate fucked an evil god into existence. Like they're like, well, why trust them with anything? So, yeah, and it is memey, but it's also true. They did do that. That's what makes it so funny. It's like, holy shit, these people are fucking idiots. Then there's like, I think that a lot of Dawn of War players just hate the Eldar. Not that they're that hard to fight, but the Eldar not just fucking telling you what the hell is going on is part of the reason as to why all the bad shit happens in the first Dawn of War game. Writer of the Shark Boy said he wrote them as Raven Guard successors, and there you go. And it works. I think they're pretty cool. I really like them. Tybros is empathetic but blunt. Yes, he's very fair. That's the one thing that I noticed about him when I read the second book, which is Outer Dark, is that he only speaks when he needs to. And when he does speak, he'll never lie to you. Ever. The problem is the truth might hurt. But he's never going to blame you for something that's not your fault. He's aware of the situation that he's in. He's a great chapter master. Very, very, very awesome. I love Tyberos. He's one of my favorites. My favorite chapter master is probably, if it's not Tushan, it's Pedro Cantor. Pedro Cantor is an incredible leader. The only person that I think you could put above him in regards to accolades would be Calgar, but it's Papa Smurf, so what do you expect? Pedro Cantor is really good as a leader. He's really fucking good. Well, then of course there's Dante. Like Dante and Calgar are kind of like you can't really, it's not fair to compare anybody to them, because they've been around for, I think Calgar is now around 1,000 years old. Dante is 1,500 plus years old. and both of them are tremendous military leaders. So, like, it's they've been doing it for so long, you can't really compare anybody to them. But fucking Pedro Cantor is something else in regards to his leadership skills. He's amazing at what he does. I mean, he got most of his chapter got wiped out by basically a stray nuke that was probably sabotaged, coming back and hitting their fortress monastery. He only had like 150 some odd Marines left. At the final, like during the war for Rindsworld, and they managed to hold out for like the better part of a year, fighting millions of orcs, to the point where they built gargants. And they managed to hold out until they got reinforcements from other chapters that came in and gave them a hand. Alongside a lot of Imperial Navy reinforcement on top of that. So... yeah, love Pedro Cantor. Pedro's the man. Oh, that's some good shit. Okay. What is my costume? Have you ever watched Megas XLR? What's my opinion about the Adeptus Mechanicus? Creepy. But that's kind of why I like them. The Mechanicus are... like... When it comes to factions within the Imperium, the two that I find frustrating but intriguing are the Adeptus Sororitas and the Adeptus Mechanicus. They're very weird. Calgar was not even 500 years old at the pick of M41. Really? So he's not 1,000 yet. He's still pretty up there. I mean, he's older than Pedro Cantor. He's older than a lot of chapter masters. So, but he's been around for a hot minute. But he's one of the most accomplished. But yeah, the Mechanicus like can be really creepy. Really creepy. And some of the things that they do is just horrifying. But there are also some members of the Mechanicus you'll meet that are actually quite the opposite. That are quite kind. One of my favorites, I forget her name, was this doting little Mechanicus lady in the third Carcharodon's book. Not the one with Tungata Manu, the third one by Robbie McNiven. Where she basically sees a bunch of them and goes up to talk to them and is super friendly. And she wants to look at their weapons, look at their armor, and she literally just goes around to different to a few different Carcharodons to tweak their armor for them to make sure that everything's running in good compatibility and make sure their weaponry is good. And she doesn't expect anything in return. She just does it to do it. Not just because she's curious, though that is part of it. It's to be nice. And it's like, huh. So there are some people in the Mechanicus that are absolute sweethearts. But that's every faction in 40K. Or in humanity. There are Inquisitors that will do everything that they can do to avoid human casualties. Like, genuinely care about people. There are Sisters of Battle that are the exact same way. Then there are Sisters of Battle that will kill you to get their hands on a saint if the saint is being held by the Astra Militarum, and they don't like that. Because if you've read Plague War, that happens in that book. Again, it really just depends. Oh, somebody asked me my opinion of the Sister of Battle character from Bolt Gun. I'm looking forward to seeing how she plays. It's interesting that it's like a dual wielding character. Excuse me. It's like a dual wielding character, and it's looking like with that one you're gonna have to be a lot more mobile than Malum Kaido is, which will definitely be an interesting way to play the game. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I haven't even finished the first Bolt Gun though. $5 says she and Malum Kaido are a thing. Impossible for Space Marines. They are psycho conditioned not to fall in love. The only chapter that does not do that and actually has in the lore that some of them have actually had sex with women and that a couple of them are parents is the Space Wolves. Any thoughts on Darktide? It's okay. Like it's the game. Like if you want a game where you play as the guard, that's basically what Darktide is. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't like the movement in it. I feel like you're just too sluggish for that style of game. So it's not really my thing. I understand why some people really like it. There is an Astartes fighting fencing style called Calgar he probably created. Even some Black Templars studied it. That would make sense. The Templars do try to... They'll bring in techniques from other chapters if they think it's going to work. It's very Dorn of them, because that was Dorn's thing. He was always he was a really smart guy. Did you hear anything about Darkwood getting a sequel? Never played the original. I don't have an opinion. Don't think there's an Imperial Fist successor that's unlikable. What are the ones that are in all green? I'm forgetting their name. It's not the Revilers, is it? Is it the Excoriators? No, it's not them. Oh, the Invaders. The Invaders are kind of pricks. But a lot of the rest of them are pretty great. The Black Templars, obviously. The Crimson Fists are awesome. The Executioners are pretty cool. The Hammers of Dorn there is basically a chapter of Thick Boys, which I love. And then the Hospitaliers. Or Hospitalers. Though it's supposed to be pronounced Hospitalier. It's fan fiction. Some Space Wolves got children before they got the Canis Helix. That's the thing. Lucas the Trickster book. Lucas found a girl who was a descendant from his clan. I thought in Lucas the Trickster, though, he talked about a rogue trader that he had to deal with for his talents. And it's implied that he fucks her. I haven't read the book, so I don't know for sure. Yeah, Steve, you're not wrong. Chaos gonna have a very bad day in Bolt Gun 2. That goes without saying. But then again, the whole thing about Lucas the Trickster, though, is like nothing of what that he says is really like he's an unreliable narrator because he's Lucas the Trickster, you know. If the Death Watch are not a successor chapter, then what are they? They are what is called a chamber militant. Basically, they are a military force that is attached to a specific part of the Inquisition. In this case, the Ordo Xenos. So basically, what the Death Watch is that they each chapter will send people out to the Death Watch to serve underneath them for a time to bolster the forces of the Ordo Xenos, basically to do like Black Ops missions. And yeah, and then they serve for a time, and if they survive, they will go back to their original chapter. And then and some services are as short as a few years. Some they serve for like 100+ years. Like Black Ops, exactly. But they are specifically gunning after aliens. And they will have people from all over. Like the upcoming Astartes film has... the next Astartes film has the Sons of Medusa, the Angels Vermilion? Question mark? It's either the Angels Vermilion or the Angels Sanguine. But it's the Angels, the Mortifactors, the ones from the chapter from the first Astartes film, and there was one other, and the Sides of the Emperor. So I think that's all of them. I'm trying to think. Was it the Angels Vermilion? Probably listed somewhere. I could have swore I saw a list of the chapters in it. Yep, not finding it. Yeah, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's the Angels Vermilion. But I'm genuinely curious as to who they're going to be going up against, because the what pray tell is going to be the Xenos they go after. I don't know. I'm curious. Well, what I'm going to do, I do want to play some Vidya. There's a game I wanted to try for the Halloween season that looks really good. But I want to get out of these jeans and into something more comfortable and grab a beverage as well. So bear with me for a bit. I'm going to put some music on. Da, 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 da. And I'm going to tell you right now, this music is not from the game we are playing. So give me just a minute. I will be back, and we will proceed. Okay. I ditched the costume. Want something a little bit more comfortable. So I grabbed a band shirt. One of my favorite bands, no less. At the Gates. They're awesome. Alright. So... what we're going to do... consolidate my tabs here. So the game in question that we're going to play, I've heard great things about. So we're going to give it a shot and give it a stab. I've heard that this is very personal eldritch horror. Called Hell Is Us. I'm going to go for probably a couple hours. Just to kind of see what it's all about. So, let's go ahead and fire it up. Is there anybody in here who's actually played this? Oh, I need to change my audio device. There we go. All right. Hey, Elian, what's up, dude? Ever played Signalis? I do own it. I played a little bit of it. Did not finish it. That looks fine. Subtitles, subtitle background. I'll leave the quality preset what it is, and we'll just kind of see what it does. Audio stereo, full dynamic range. The graphic representation of the direction and distance of gameplay-related sounds. Not really needed. Let me... It's really loud. That should be better. Just keep making some adjustments here. That's interesting. Oh, FSR is not enabled. Let's, for the sake of it. I can't even turn FSR on. That's weird. Oh, whatever. Lenient, balanced, or merciless. Who enjoy moderate combat challenge along with their investigation. Let's go with that. Yeah, we'll do tutorials. Our game has no map, no markers indicating where people or things are, where to go next, or who to talk to. We will never tell you precisely what must be done or how to do it. To thrive in Hell Is Us, you need to pay attention to your environment, listen, and be vigilant. We recommend playing Hell Is Us with a controller. Okay, normal work of fiction thing. Okay. Game is pretty bassy? Oh yeah, big time. Like it's begging to be played on a sound system. I'm gonna turn it down on your guys' end too, because it's like it's peaking. Let's do like this. And let me know if I need to turn it down more so it's not too loud over me.
It's a true serum. It's
Holy
still
neck.
experimental, hence the polygraph. I would have tortured you, but my employers insist I use their concoction. Now, let's begin.
I thought I was fat. Jesus.
How did you get into Hadia?
How do you have that face?
The yellow brick road.
Well, apparently, needs more time. While it's going through your system, curious about something. Why did you do it?
Anyone in my shoes would have done the same.
Hey, that's Adam Jensen.
I think you overestimate human beings. I don't think you realize the time, money, and resources that went into this operation. You pissed off the wrong people. But I'm getting ahead of myself. You were smuggled out of Hadia at age 5, grew up in the foster care system, and dabbled in criminal activities. You managed to pull yourself together and become a decorated soldier. After decades of trying to get back into Hadia, well, you decided to take matters into your own hands. Oh, it seems we are ready. How did you get into Hadia?
I asked for a transfer to the UN peacekeepers, who had deployed inside Hadia. It backfired. When the paperwork cleared, Hadia's civil war was in full swing and the peacekeepers pulled out. I reported to my new unit, stole some gear, and crossed the mountains.
Why come back?
My parents. I wanted to find them. I needed,
How did you know your parents were still in Hadia?
I didn't. My only memory was that my father was the blacksmith of a village of Jova.
Getting into Hadia is just as hard as leaving. Tell me, who smuggled you out?
My mother.
What happened?
She sat me down in the back of a truck, gave me her necklace, and shut the door.
She didn't say anything?
She told me, never come back.
Interesting. Voice acting's really good. Like, I'm actually kind of surprised as to how good the voice acting is. I'm trying to get my mouse, like, to be out of the way. I also like that he doesn't look like your typical protagonist. I know we're getting 60 frames a second right at the start, so that's not too bad. I want to turn up the preset. Same frame rate. Nice. Alright, cool. I guess we just follow the path. The environments are pretty good looking. Water effects aren't bad. Got some graves. Otis, Arlo, Gustav. Very Silent Hill 2 feeling opening, just a lot less fog. You know, walking through a graveyard and shit. Though it looks like we're somewhere in Eastern Europe. That is a dead cow. The right stick sensitivity is a little high though. Sorry, I'm not stalling, I promise. Also, one thing I noticed when I checked my phone when I went into my bedroom, somebody gifted me a sub to Samiko Saba. That's horizontal look sensitivity. Let's turn this down to 30. That's better. Is there a way in here? Have it on your TV and it looks good. Well, that's good to hear. Hi. Sorry to barge in. Conversations. Conversations can be started with many characters you encounter. Conversation topics can be based on datum, which represent a specific piece of information you might have previously encountered. Conversing with characters may reveal additional datum, which can open up new topics of conversation. Topics that are relevant for your main objectives are listed on the left side of the screen. Listed on the right are optional topics. Okay.
You must be lost to wander around Sinedra Forest. I'm afraid I have very little to offer. You're welcome to stay and catch your breath. Frankly, I could use the company.
Who are you?
Who are you?
The name's Ernest Cadell. My family has tilled the earth here for generations. When the Sabinian army dug in for the winter, They used our home as their headquarters. I wasn't here at the time, but my sons were. When I finally came back,
His sons must have
the
been the graves that we
Sabinians
saw
were
on the way
long
here.
gone. They left my sons' bodies in the forest. My only solace is knowing that my fourth son might still be alive. I hope he finds his way home, if he's out there somewhere.
Do you know where the village of Jova is located?
It's in Akasa Marshes. It's quite a ways from here. I'm afraid you're going to need a vehicle. Unfortunately, I have none. A group of strange-looking soldiers arrived here last night in an APC. Perhaps you can ask them for help. It's not the first time I've seen them. They always seem to be snooping around here for something.
Okay. Tell me about the Civil War.
I managed to survive 2 years of this damn war. No parent should have to bury a child, let alone 3. I'm left to endure this torment. That's what we do. We carry on, no matter what. Despite all of it, I know we Palamists will win this war. We have Setharis on our side. The Sabs only pretend to worship him, which will be their undoing. Trust me. I've always seen we Palamists as creatures of habit. Like most of us, I hold my God and traditions close to my heart. We are humble and modest and tend to help our neighbors, so long as they're Palamists. We love gatherings, especially during the week of peace.
What about the Sabinians?
I grew up hating Sabs, without question. My pap and my dad hated them. That was enough reason for me. Now, I damn well know why I despise the bastards. I'd be at the front if I were any younger. I'd show the Sabs as much mercy as they did my boys.
Jesus.
I don't know much about them. All I know is that the peacekeepers came here to calm things down. The first and only time I saw them was when they were leaving the country. I was walking on the side of the road when a convoy of white trucks rolled by. I noticed one of the soldiers. He was the only one smiling. He looked like Arlo, one of my boys. He waved at me. Oddly, I found myself waving back. I think it was a lost cause to try and quell ancient hatreds. Sabs and Palamists have long memories. I think of that soldier from time to time. I hope he made it out of Hadia. President Yanko, no matter how you feel about the bastard, he held everything together. His grandiose vision of unification kept a fragile peace together. That and his excessive brutality. He was the one that turned Hadia into a prison. No one was allowed out or in, keeping old grudges bobbling on the pot's rim, just waiting to boil over.
What's the game? It's called Hell Is Us.
When President Yanko blew his head off, the hand holding the lid was gone. War was inevitable.
The president killed himself?
Where can I find the APC?
They parked their APC just beyond the woods, to the north. Once in the woods, follow the wind chimes. They will lead the way through.
Follow the wind chimes. Okay.
I hung them in the trees so my sons would stop getting lost when they were children. Setharis, bless their souls. The gate to enter the woods is locked. Here. Take this key to unlock it.
Let's save the game real quick. So, what the fuck is that? It's like a monolith, so it looks like a building too. Nothing else on the horizon. Just that. Interesting. What do I think of Code Geass? I think there's a chance that he Gundam timeline in a fight. Depends on. I think Lelouch would do pretty well forming his own army and being successful. Yeah. The as for what I think about it, I did a whole review on it. If you want to watch it. You're unsure of how to proceed in your main objective. Open a data pad and navigate to investigation. Select an investigation to see all associated datum you have recovered. And select them to see the specific interaction you gathered so far. Okay. Village of Jova. Village of Jova. Gotta go to the north, follow the wind chimes. Thoughts on Smiling Friends? Never watched it. Well, there's the wind chimes. You put up a lot of them. Old tractor. Nothing else of note. Who's more nihilistic, Luthor or Perturabo? I don't think either of them are really nihilistic. I think they're both just very, very smart and very self-centered. So this is the APC. One's still alive.
You found me. Epsilon 12, right? I can't see shit.
His eyes are gone.
I have blood in my eyes. You must have honed in on my distress beacon. Who are you? I'm Sifo 451, Epsilon 11. I got separated from my unit. They're still down there behind that door. We were on an SSC and got jumped. I'm not sure how I got here. All I remember is hearing that door shutting behind me. I must have triggered something. We need the key to the APC. We need to get the fuck out of here. Who has the APC key? The sergeant has the key. He's inside with the team. Sarge is easy to spot. He's the one with a dark red poncho. Shit. I'm hurt pretty bad. I need to stop the bleeding. Look, we have a med kit in the camp we set up in the woods west of here. We marked the trees to make it easier to navigate. Bring me the med kit, and I'll give you what you need to open the door.
Okay, west of here. Oh, thank God there's a compass. Oh, it just does that. You said west of here? Okay. I'm gonna see what... Okay, can't unlock it manually. So west would be this way. And we're looking for a med kit. Gotta say, the Atmo in this game is pretty good. There's the mark on the tree. There's another one. Along with some blue rocks. Anything back here? Even if you blockheads find the key, I'll bet you'll never find the treasure chest. The blue paint is harder to see than the red. Interesting. Well, there's the blue paint. Is there a way to get up there? Nope. Kind of surprised they marked as many trees as they did. I think we found it. There's a spotlight. Yep. Have a med kit. Survey report. OMSIF Epsilon 11. Time since anomaly collapsed 1,056 years. What coincides with fifth cycle harmonics? Following items forward to facility ZC02 for further analysis. Imaging profile of the site, concentric pattern coordinate samples extracted around anomaly locus, approximate flora samples. Vial of strange substance. Okay. Anything else here I can grab? Doesn't look like it. Okay. The fuck? Well, time to head back. Exploding barrels. Maybe. Rusted key. I need to be heading east. Well, this is the key to the treasure. The question is, how do I get up there? Looks like there's a path behind it. I have a feeling it's a bit of a slow burn game. Yeah, I'm getting that vibe too, which I'm down for. I like slow burn stuff. Behold the magnificent treasure of the cattle family. It belonged to our great-great-great-great-grandpa. Don't break it, you nitwits. Bracelet of ecstasy wanton destruction. Maybe I'll try to give it back to the old man. It's from his family. The Nine-Tailed Fox Task Force. It does kind of have some sort of like an SCP feel, though, doesn't it? A little bit of that, a little bit of Lovecraft. Granted, a lot of SCP stuff took major inspiration from Lovecraft, so it fits. We have made it back. You still alive, buddy?
I need the med kit. Who has the sergeant?
I guess I traded to him.
Oh, good. You got the med kit. Okay, you see that ladder over there? Climb it to the top. Take this. You'll need it to open the door. You'll figure it out.
Ancient mechanism. Okay. Upsy daisy. It looks like an ancient, like, tomb or something. Unknown language. What was the middle symbol? The fish-looking thing? Well, it's kind of reminiscent of an ichthys. Getting Skyrim flashbacks. In a good way, though. Because the one thing that everybody loved about Skyrim was the exploration. What'd you miss? Not much, Batzilla. We're not too far into this. Buddy, you gonna be alright?
I knew you'd figure it out. Now get the APC key so we can get the hell out of here. That's all smoke and mirrors. It's a pity they have no clue what part they played. I heard that they're still fighting in some parts of the country. You'd think they would have a ceasefire by now or something. Man, you really have to hate someone to keep going like that.
Okay, what do you know about Hadia?
I've been to some fucked up places around the world. But this place redefines insanity.
Okay.
They're guinea pigs. Who gives a shit?
Okay. What about the Palamists?
Rats in a maze, man. Rats in a maze.
Interesting. Very brief, but interesting nonetheless. I don't like the sound of that. Whoa. What the fuck have I walked into? Using a save point will conserve your progress. Should you be defeated in combat, you'll be returned to the last one. Upon your defeat, progress will be preserved regardless of views. This includes conversations, datum discovered, puzzles completed, enemies eliminated, weapon progress, and loot gathered. Okay. So you don't lose items if you die. That's interesting. SSE report. Omsif Epsilon 11. Underground site Lambda 2. Preliminary dust analysis determines site has been completely sealed since at least 937 AD, coinciding with the height of the 5th Limbic invasion. Actions taken. Successfully unlocked door. Preliminary exploration and securing of first chambers. Collection and catalog of items. List below. Installation of base camp equipment. Following items forwarded to facility ZC02 for further analysis. Dust samples from each chamber. Drone imaging sweep of each chamber. 4 iron tools for historical analysis. Iron shackles for historical analysis. 5 teeth from separate skeletal remains for DNA. Okay, ants unseal next doorway in the morning of the 23rd. Auditory cues reveal possible entity presence. Exercise extreme caution as entity contact lightly. Set up contingency evacuation plan. Okay. Oh, we're finding dead people. Supposed to be looking for a guy in a red poncho. What the fuck?
Hey, you okay?
Buddy, I don't think that's a person. Hey. Definitely not.
Fuck.
Oh, that's even worse.
What the fuck?
Okay, this isn't good. Uh-oh. No, this is not a Kojima game. What the actual fuck just happened? Where did we get the poncho? Did we just take it off the lady's corpse? Okay, lock onto the enemy in the center of the screen. perform a regular attack. We apparently just took her fucking clothes. Alright. Not quite sure what to do with that yet. Well, this is really weird to start. First, the sinners are brought to the tower. Okay. First aid kit. Okay, down to use current active item, which I don't really need to use right now, so let's try to remember that. The endurance system contains 2 vital stats, health and stamina. Maximum health is equal to your total endurance, maximum stamina equals to your total health. As you receive hits from enemies, your stealth will decrease. In turn, this lowers your maximum stamina. Oh, fuck. Stamina will regenerate automatically. Health does not regenerate automatically. Okay. Shards, whatever that is. Then they will endure the climb through the twin-headed serpent. Oh, this is saying what probably the key to the door. So it's, let's write this down. So tower and then serpent. This is a little old school feeling, not gonna lie. Not in a bad way though. Anything else I can grab in here? Don't look like it. Can't go through there. I think that's the way I came. Simple enough. And then, and finally the sinners will fall into the fires of hell. Tower, serpent, hell. Okay. Yeah, I guess the drone can translate, so that's gonna be helpful. Have a look at this. So, tower, serpent, hell. Did that not do it? Or is tower supposed to be the middle, maybe? Yep. Once swallowed into the depths of the twin-headed serpent Tear, the wretched Sabinian vermin shall be excreted into the flame pits of the accursed Himalara fields. So they're basically saying that the Sabinians are going to get eaten and then shat into something. That sucks. Okay. Can't go up that way. Can go up this way though. It's a lot like Skyrim. Yeah, in a very creepy way. Like creepy Skyrim. I don't know what. I'm kind of digging it though. Prison guard. I am filled with glee as they enter, row after row, shackled in bondage of their own making. Asterian, Gehennian, filthy cattle, their stench is unbearable. How I wish my duty would take me to the spire, to hear their cries, to revel in their laments as they finally grasp the errors of their ways. Alas, my charge lies here. My queen requires it. Sethiris requires it. I am to shepherd the sinners as they await their final judgment at the spire. So whoever these people were, they were basically getting ethnically cleansed. Limbic capacitor. Instantly gain limbic energy with wielded weapon. Oh gosh, I don't mean to be tired. Damn it. In here. Nope. So this war has been going on. I'm assuming that this is set sometime near the modern day. So this war has been going on for over 1,000 years. Gotcha, bitch. Looks like that's the only thing I can open. Saving. When you successfully hit an enemy, faint particles appear around you. When these particles coalesce into a solid ring, and the bar on the HUD flashes white, you can activate the healing pulse ability. This ability will consume the particles and restore health equal to a percentage of the damage dealt by the hit that triggered the particles. Particles will disappear if you wait too long or if you take damage. Okay, interesting. So healing pulses right bumper. Yo. Ow. I don't think I need to stop dying so fast, but I think I get the gist of it. Still haven't found that sergeant. Would you say it's kind of a Souls-like? I mean... loosely. Another limbic capacitor. Distractibility. Facing two enemies who fight in tandem can be challenging. Using your drone's distractibility can be helpful. So, right trigger and B to distract an enemy. Okay. That's interesting. Limbic twin axes. Seems speedy. Don't think that's what I need. Parry. Some attacks can be parried by using the guard action at the right moment, just as the enemy changes color. Okay. So it has a riposte system. We'll give it a shot. Okay, that's kind of sick. Are these all just rags? Let no Sabinian captive cross the threshold of the Gao clad in so much as a thread. All must be stripped bare, as befits the despicable and the condemned. So they stripped them naked here. And this is all their clothing. It's just sat here to rot for 1,000 years. Okay. I'm getting the groove of it. I wouldn't really describe it as Souls-like combat. It feels a little bit more like Neo. Which I know is kind of a Souls-like, but you get my drift. The pace is different. And admittedly, it's a lot easier. Ram head medallion. It's probably for one of the that door we saw back there. So this is just all clothing that was just left here to rot. So they get bigger. see if I can... How do I... Is it in loadout? Yes. There we go. Scam. His gaze shines upon our queen. Let no prisoner be led beyond these walls unbound. From neck to ankle they must be shackled, that none may stride unburdened in the tower's shadow. Okay. Dear Marco, how you been, brother? Unit's been camping out in Sendera after our big push. Cold as hell, let me tell you. Feels good to get some rest, even if I'll likely lose a toe to frostbite out here. Hell, I got 9 more, right? That's the positive mental attitude you need. I gotta tell you something, Marco. We found something while digging the trenches. A big old door, sealed shut and proper old. Captain ordered us to pry it open, and that just doesn't sit right with me. There are laws against this kind of thing. Remember how Grandpa gave us hell when we tried to climbing that old wall near the lake? We aren't supposed to be disturbing a heritage site, even during a war. Captain's lost his damn mind. Can't wait to hear from you. Your bro, Martin. Martin! Well, we found the sergeant. Drone bypass single. Reduce drone's active cooldowns. Deployment order. OMSIF Epsilon 11. January. Oh, this is in the 90s. Okay. Multiple suspected SSE. Sinendra reason. Southern Umbrahan. Standard Protocol Alpha. Locate and contain reported anomalies. Investigate origin, evolution of sites. Collected and catalog relevant material. And there's a key to the APC. This is a battle trench. Did I just walk into a war zone? Letter, Sabinian front. We trampled through Sinendra Forest with the fury of King Aster. Pals never stood a chance, they died like dogs. We must have taken out at least a dozen, scrambling around like termites when the shells dropped. It was glorious. Found 3 Pal brothers cowering in a farmhouse. Pissed their pants as we took them out back. One of them was wearing a gold watch. Can you believe my luck? Sing it to you with this letter. Sell it, buy yourself something nice. I swear I'll return to you, sweet Marina. Once we've killed every last one of them, love your Ruslan. Gold watch. I don't know if I'm supposed to be here right now, but... fuck it. Give me big time World War I vibes, though. Food! Uh-oh. Ah, excuse me. Oh, good, a first aid kit. That's always a plus. Stay in the game. Linked enemies. You often face 2 enemies linked together by an umbilical cord. This pair is called a limbic entity. Made up of a hollow walker and Haze, a monster of various shape. Can you do a coach impression for Beavis and Butthead? Nope. To defeat this pair, you must kill the hollow walker, the humanoid. However, the hollow walker cannot be damaged as long as the haze is present. Okay. Reducing the haze's health to 0 will cause it to retreat into the hollow walker. Okay. This state, Hollow Walker's limbic energy, represented by the white bar, cannot be introduced and will gradually replenish. Okay. Interesting. Alright. Yeah, I'll do that. Oof. Another drone bypass. Reduces the cooldowns. Level up. What happened to my sword? I just switched weapons. I'm kind of liking the axes a little bit more. They've got a little bit more speed to them. I'll try the sword for a little bit though. Just to do it. Definitely a slower weapon. Can't really tell if it really does that much more damage. We'll level it up for a little bit though. The axes look faster though. Yeah, they're considerably faster. Think these are aliens or something? I don't know. I have no thoughts right now in regards to it. I'm just trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. Level up. item doesn't fit here. Okay. I'd like to help, but I don't have the item that we need to help you. We'll come back to that. It's such a bizarre game. In a good way, though. It's definitely got some tricky elements to it. Like, I'm wanting to be button mashy with it, but I'm getting the feeling that that's really stupid to do. I found another med kit, so I can go ahead and use this. More Death Stranding feeling than Dead Space. Yeah, there's definitely a bit of I can see why some people thought that this was a Kojima game. It kind of has that vibe, you know? Like, we've gone from a forest to what felt like a not Middle Eastern, but Middle Ages prison, back out into a forest, but there was a bunch of fucking trenches and shit. Oh boy. That's a lot of them. Combat kind of feels like you're supposed to just like stick and move. Don't like super commit to long ass combos. Alright, now I'm getting the hang of the health boost thing. Because I think that was a thing in Neo, wasn't it? Guardian was killed. I have no idea what that means. I'm just walking. Observe. Well, there's the tower that we saw earlier. I wonder, I don't know if we were even supposed to be here yet. I mean, granted, the game did say, like, it's not going to hold your hand. Let's go back. Let's just go back to the APC. I'm getting that feeling that there are things that I'm moving towards that I'm not supposed to be moving towards yet, so I'm going to go with my instincts and not continue that direction. I'm just getting that, like, nervous feeling in the pit of my stomach of you're going too fast, you're going too far. Back up, you know, because you're getting in a little over your head. It's just the feeling that I have. Yeah, this is wild. Like this legit feels like the trenches of World War I. Oop. There you go, that's the button I'm looking for. Back the way we came. Get the guy with the bleeding eyes out of here, get him some medical attention. God, this is like, I'm feeling fucking tense with this. I'm loving it. The last I think the only content creator that I've seen that doesn't fit here, that was talking about this game, said it was really good, was Co. So I need to find another medallion to unlock that. But I didn't watch his full review, and I didn't watch his playthrough of it, so... From what I've been told, Co-Carnage, apparently he is really good with his game coverage, so... I might start listening to him more. He seems like a very sensible guy. Which, in this day and age, like... sensibility is such a rare thing. But I do feel like there's a lot of people that are seeking it out. And admittedly, that's part of the reason why I've kind of told myself, like, I need to, whenever I'm, you know, covering things or what have you, I need to endeavor to be sensible. Haven't get any jump scares yet, though. That is true, but I'm kind of okay with that because the atmosphere is so goddamn good. Why are we in the trenches of World War One? Well, we're not. This is what I think that they're alluding to, like the allegory of this conflict is. I want to say it's the war in Kosovo in the 90s is what they're making reference to, because it's got a very Eastern European sort of a vibe going on. Oh. I can't get out the way I came. Okay. I didn't realize that. So, back to the trenches. I thought the door had just closed. Well, fuck. It's like we're running all the way back. I guess we have to go to the tower. Where is that ladder? Oh, there it is. Running. That's where we found the sergeant. Head medallion. Let's see if that'll help the lady. Somewhere around here. Yep, right down here. Nope, that's where I came from. Where the fuck? It was somewhere in the trenches, I know that much. So down here? That just sent me in a circle. Or did it? That's where I came from. Was it somewhere up here, maybe? I could have been remembering wrong. Nope, it's not that either. Maybe it was up here? Nope. Wait, is that the APC? It is. Still alive, dude? Nope, he's very dead. Well, that sucks. You know, I kind of want to explore a little bit more. I mean, the guy I came here to help is dead anyway, so might as well have a look around. See what we can find. I want to find that lady that was in trouble. See if we can help her out. Again, that's the way I came. Yeah, trenches very much feel like a maze. It came out and around like that. Well, clearly this was a battleground at some point. There was artillery positions and stuff like that. But none of this looks recent. And it sounds like these two nations have been at war with each other for like, again, like over 1,000 years. So might just be remnants of an old battleground. It's hard to say, really. feel like the thing was... No. What the fuck? I almost, because I'm getting so lost, I'm feeling like I hallucinated the lady and stuff like that in the bunker, but it was there. Well, whatever, guess we'll move on. Feels kind of bad, but... I don't know, man. Fuck it. Doesn't fit. That doesn't fit. So I don't have a way to get into the tower. But I've at least cleared a path, if nothing else. There's just something so arresting about this game. Like, it kind of takes some influence from Kojima stuff. Kind of takes some influence from Sam Lake's stuff too, but not in like an overly pretentious way. So, Sam Lake without all the drawbacks. Oh, it's right here. Okay. Fuck.
Who's there?
Well, maybe it's that other door inside the ruin. Yeah, I personally am just not a big fan of Sam Lake. I didn't like Alan Wake 1. I thought it was kind of pretentious. So I didn't even try Alan Wake 2. Hated the fact that he consultated with fucking Sweet Baby for it. It's like, dude, you don't need to do that. They're not useful. level up. By decree of the yeah, there's a little bit of Anno in this as well. Especially the monster designs, like the screaming hexagrams and shit like that. Like, that's very Hideaki Anno. Hold on one second. Max Payne is good. I didn't like Control. Too long we have suffered under those sinful hearts. Beget calamity after calamity upon us. Let this grand edifice stand as a testament to our righteousness. Shining beacon in the sea of immorality, a reminder to all that none escape his gaze. Here we purge heresy, here we purify the kingdom, here we acclaim our faith. New glyph acquired. Terror. Okay. That's all there is to this? Alright. Well. I guess that's it for the dungeon. Guess we're getting out of here. Have a good one, Damon. But yeah, I enjoyed Max Payne 1 and 2. I'm not really looking forward to Sam Lake doing another one, just because, again, I worry about the pretentiousness of it all. But, we'll see what happens. So at some point I have the feeling we will come back here. How long have we been going? I think at the 4-hour mark we will probably call it. So I can get a little bit of food and start working on stuff for the day. Acquire a means of transfer. It's mine now, is what the achievement's called. Alright. Well. Wow, that was just the intro. Oh, French people made this. What is it with, like, French people in interesting video games this year? Did I rescue people trapped in the cell? I didn't have the item to get them out. I'm just shocked that there are still creative people in France. This soundtrack is really good, by the way. Like, goddamn. Well, I'm thinking once I finish this game, I'm gonna play through this. After I finish this game, I should probably just sit down and finish Expedition 33. Fuck. Oh, I needed that neck pop.
Epsilon 11. Epsilon 11, sound off. Why are you in Akasa Marshes? Who ordered you? Where are my men?
They're gone. The creatures got the better of them.
Abandon the vehicle and walk away. You have my word, no harm will come to you.
How about I give it back when I no longer need it?
I would advise against it.
It's just too convenient.
You have no idea who you've stolen from. Choose your next move wisely.
Okay. Interdasting. Whoa. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and save it there. Definitely a really interesting game. We're gonna play more of this. Before I take off, I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to turn on FSR for next time. Actually, I could just do that. But yeah, that's a good place to step off, I think. I got some stuff I got to do. I got to get to work on a bunch of things. So I am going to do that, get myself some food, because I've not had a proper anything since I got up at around noon, and it's been 8 hours, so I think I need to eat. So I'm going to do that. Don't know if I'll play more on stream. We'll see what happens. Because gaming stream's not exactly like something a lot of people like watching. Like we started at like 30 some odd viewers, now we're down to 12. So not a lot of people like watching them whenever I'm doing them. I guess I'm just not that good at making them entertaining. So I'm going to take off. I appreciate all you guys for coming by and hanging out, people being liberal with super chats as well. And don't forget to keep an eye out for the Halloween special that comes out this coming Friday. And yeah, until the next time, I will see you guys when I see you.